Jamie Spencer is here tonight. He is founder and managing director of Feedback Madagascar, the local partner of Mary's Meals. And Jamie, please come to me. It's your turn. Jamie Spencer, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you. And boy, what amazing stories we've heard this evening, and how amazing your support is. And for all the donors, the supporters, and the fundraisers, and for Mary's Meals, who frankly, after 30 years of working in the field of development and conservation, are way ahead, the best partner we've ever worked with. And I can never sing their praises highly enough. In the last 4 years, when we started working with Mary's Meals, we faced COVID. We faced 2 cyclones in 22, 1 cyclone in 23, and then, of course, with the Ukraine war and others, the vast inflation. All the way, Mary's Meals held our hand and have enabled us with our organization, which I'll tell you more about, to be now currently feeding 100,000 children in 542 schools. That's 542 communities, and we are forever grateful. I first went to Madagascar 30 years ago, fell in love with the place and made it my home, and founded Feedback Madagascar 25 years ago. We've now grown to about 200 staff, all Malagasy bar myself, and 100 of them are delivering the school feeding project, and the other 100 are delivering traditional rural development and conservation work. A little bit about Madagascar. Madagascar is mostly known for the wondrous nature there, the animals and the plants. 5% of the species on this planet only live on that island. The island is 1.5 times the size of Germany, and there 30 million people live. Mostly subsistence farmers living off what they grow, and nearly half of them are children. I admire and often envy the culture of many of my friends and the people in Madagascar. They live close to nature, they live in very supportive families, communities, and they're deeply spiritual people. But unfortunately, according to world economic metrics, they're the 5th poorest country in the world. And the reality of that means the harsh life, facing challenges and threats similar to those that we've heard from other countries this evening. I had a couple of memories today. One was of a mother who saw me going up to town in a car a day away and said, "Oh, Jamie, could you get us some aspirin?" I casually said yes. I came back down 3 or 4 days later with the box of aspirin. Her child was dead for the sake of a fever. It was too expensive for her to go to town, and she had too much pride to tell me how desperate she needed the aspirin. Another incident that occurred to me today was I went to the launch of a new school and the beginning of their school feeding program. And the children lined up excitedly in anticipation, not quite knowing what to expect. And the bowls of rice were placed in front of them. Half of the children didn't know what to do. In their little lives, they had never actually had a bowl all to themselves placed in front of them. They just didn't have the synapse connection. What am I to do with this bowl of rice? So, the last minute or two, what I'd like to share with you, is some of the added benefits that are not always apparent with food meals. Some of the contribution to sustainability and solving the problems of poverty and environmental conservation. Our mission is to protect 500,000 hectares of the remnant rainforest. And round about it, there live 1 million people who depend on that forest directly or for, horrible word, eco-services, for the protection of the watershed, the nutrients in the soil. And these people live in very remote places. The forest is long gone far away from the roadside. In order to meet the problems of both conservation and rural development that we don't like to partition and mix, we have to work on all fronts, on education, on health, on clean water, on livelihoods, on agriculture, on human rights, and on conservation. It's a complicated formula, but we have identified a critical approach. Some projects are perceived by people to be immediate and collective benefit. We call these catalytic projects, projects that the local people buy into and get involved with. This might be building a school, this might be building a borehole, things that people can see are hugely beneficial immediately. When Mary's Meals came to work with us to deliver school feeding, it was like a bomb on our progress for rural development and for conservation, the ultimate catalytic project. The 50,000 or thereabout volunteer parents who work to deliver the school meals, they have the experience of working together. They have the experience of managing the food stuff, managing their rotas, cooking the food, working with an NGO, working with local government. And they take that increased capacity to make things happen to the next project. Where we have been delivering school feeding programs, we're now working with farmers who are producing food to sell to the school feeding program. We are working with schools to create school tree nurseries where the children, the teachers, the parents and the wider community are growing trees for fuel to cook the food, for food, oranges, mangoes, etc., and for indigenous trees to replant the depleting forest. It goes on and on. Different communities have been motivated to dig clean water wells, serving the school and the family. And I'm privileged and lucky enough to be able to see these additional benefits, which are having very lasting effects on the well-being of communities and indeed the well-being of the forest. And I want to just thank, on behalf of my colleagues, the staff in Madagascar and the people that we work with, to thank you all, because you are the font of it. You make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you.